Many events happened in the 20th century, including the fall of the Berlin Wall, the sinking of the Titanic, 2 world wars, the attack on Pearl Harbor, and many more countless events. There is only one event that left the greatest impact on the 20th century. World War II would be that the U.S. and the Allied powers were putting a halt on the activities of the imperialistic nations that composed of the Axis powers and Japan. In my opinion, I believe that World War II had the most significant impact on the 20th century around the world. It led to catastrophic events such as the Battle of Midway and D-Day, but it also helped shape the 20th century in a positive way. However, what nations were involved and why? In World War II, there were 2 alliances with different plans. There was the Axis power that consisted of Germany, Italy, and Japan. Then there were the Allies, who consisted of Great Britain, Soviet Union, and the United States of America. Germany, Italy, and Japan showed a common interest to conquer countries, to eliminate the Soviet communism, to overthrow World War I laws. They all signed the Anti-Cominternal Pact, a declaration against the Soviet Union in the event of war between the Soviet Union and either state. The Allies intruded in the World War II to protect their allies from being conquered by the Axis powers. However, what was the major cause of World War II? There are many stories about how World War II began. Hitler ordered his army to invade Poland in September 1939. He wanted to use Poland as a living space for his people. Once Great Britain and France found out what Hitler did and what his plans were for Poland, they declared war on Germany, and just like that, World War II had begun. Over 6 years of the war, the conflict took many lives, and land was taken or destroyed. After the Allies' victory, many things had happened. After World War II, Italy surrenders in 1943, and in 1945, Germany and Japan surrenders. All of the countries that fought along with Germany lost territory and had to pay reparations to the Allies. Germany was divided into 2 parts, East and West Germany. The capital, Berlin, was also divided into 2 parts, East and West Berlin. Each zone was controlled by Great Britain, the United States, France, and the Soviet Union. The Iron Curtain divided Europe into 2, West, democracy, and East, communists. The events after World War II may have caused more commotion, but it helped shape the 20th century in a positive way. World War II had an enormous impact on the 20th century. During World War II, there were major leaps in technology. In 1943, Philips Company built a dynamo-powered flashlight. The dynamo-powered flashlight helped the troops be able to see in the dark, and they were hand-powered, so it saved batteries. It was also being sold in the 50s after the war, and still in the 70s. After World War II, when African Americans, Hispanic, Native soldiers returned, they found a country that still did not grant them full rights. Around 1950 through 60s, the civil rights movement was put in place. The civil rights movement included equal opportunity in employment, housing, and education, as well as the right to vote and the right to be free from racial discrimination. World War II led to many horrific events, such as the Cold War. However, World War II led to positive things as well. During the war, a lot of different people around the world were working on new technology to help soldiers and enhancing daily life for citizens. The world we live in today would be completely different if World War II never happened.